Hi guys, this is a guy here, and when I said I was gonna make an Angel deck profile video, here it is. Thankfully, I did it before the game ended. Anyways, let's start with the main reason why I built the deck is because I have the cards for it. Literally, I just have the cards for it. Now let's start with Altil, which is our main stride. We will most likely stride her 3 times, 2 to 3 times. Her skill is on place, counter blast 1, turn a card face up, but most likely you're gonna turn herself face up to heal equal to number of face up holy energy zone +1. So you can choose not to flip itself because that is a good buff. But remember, like, it's equal to itself in the original TCG. Then deal 1 damage for the amount of cards you healed. So when you self-ping yourself, you get trigger checks. Booyah, trigger checks. That's what rescues main thing. Then we have her GB3 skill, which is rarely used, which is counterless 1, give +2k to the front row. And please note, if you put a new a new unit in the front row, it does not gain that buff. At the end of the turn, if you have 2 or more face up Holy Staff, that's why you stride. When you stride her first, you flip herself, so you can use this skill, which is to return back all the cards you healed from her. Sadly, okay. Oh my gosh. At the end of your turn, if you have 2 or more face up Holy Staff Altil energy zone, return all cards put from the damage zone into the drop zone during this turn to the deck. Oh my. Interesting. So any heals, any rescue checks, nice, helps prevent you deck out. That's why she's a 4 of. I used to run 3 because I had like 3, but I crafted a 4th because she's very nice. Then we have Eden, Gavrail Eden, Fanatic Seraph Gavrail Eden. Her main skill, which is Rescue Persona Blast. We don't really care much about this, which is itself. She heals herself, then deals herself a damage. Then you put the card that was healed back to the deck. The main skill is Discard skill, which is not a Persona Blast, which is great. So you can choose not to use her Persona, and that'll be great. So, her skills: when this unit attacks, you may call cards from your damage zone up to the same number of face-up cards in your G zone. This unit gets +3k until end of this turn. Put cards equal to the number of units called from the top of your deck face down. So be careful if you use a lot of counter blasts. If you don't use a lot of counter blasts, it's good either way. She has rescue. And Altil has rescue. The remaining cards, they don't have rescue. We have Raphael, which is great. You should run Forever if you want to do the 0 damage playstyle. Then we have Zachariel, which is our filler. We just have her for filler, which is counter +1, turn a card G-Zone face up. And if your damage zone has a face up card, all your front row units get +3k. If your damage zone has 5 cards, this unit gets +10k. This is just a filler. You can replace this with any card. Literally any card. You can replace it with 2 more copies of Prim. Because the other Gavrail Stride doesn't have rescue, but it gains a rescue skill. But because the fact it doesn't have rescue in its base text, it doesn't fly in this deck. Which we'll show you later after I've talked all about the strides. Here's our other filler, Uriel, which is one of the first strides in the game for Angel Feather, which is on hit, look up 3 cards of your deck, put 1 of them in your damage zone, and superior call a card. And if you called a face down, you have to turn the card you added face down, which is kinda sad. This could have been better if it doesn't do that, but game balancing. Then Harmonic Messiah, our unlocker, and also prevents people from doing damage deny playstyles, but not by much though, not by much. Then we have Ultima, our Zard Dragon, which sadly cannot be maximized because you don't run stand triggers in this deck. Mostly because stands are useless when you rescue check. And majority of your rescues during the main phase. which means you either go full stand or full crit, or crit and draw. Not draw and stand, because draw and stand, because like if your stand is rescue check in the main phase, it's a dead card. Draw check in the main phase or ride phase, still usable. Same thing with crit, because the crit will go to the Vanguard. Now the main reason why you want to have more rescue cards in their name as your Vanguard. Black Shock Gavrail Prim. Her GB2 skill is the best one, which is GB2. You can strike the rescue for counter blast 1, which is basically free because you have at least one counter blast face up at all times, so basically free. That's why this deck only runs 3 Tried Fathers. I might be willing to put this down to 2 to give 1 space for either of these 2 cards because they're very good. Then our second skill, which is Rescue. When you strike, you put a card from your hand to the damage zone, then add back a card, then heal, then self-ping. Then you self-damage. Which is great because it's like it filters your hand. Like, I don't discard, use this card, put it in the damage zone. Oh, useful card, get it back. And you self-ping, so trigger checks, I'm gonna get a critical trigger. Or whatever trigger setup you want. Then we have this card, which is Shrosha or Black Wisdom. Her first skill is the important one, which is counter plus 1. You heal, then you self-ping, which procs her other skill, which her other skill we don't really use that much. But when we do, great, but not really because we use it, but not all the time. Because majority of the time, we're most likely going to use this card as Stride Fodder. Then the crit of the hour. Nutrient Angel. Skill. Skill is counter blast 1. Put this unit into your soul, so it helps you with any soul cost that you may have. I think this deck has like 1 or 2 cards that require soul. Put this into your soul to turn a total of 2 cards in your circular damage zone face up. Meaning, if you're facing a Link Joker deck, this is a good counter. This deck is one of the few decks that can choose to not run Harmonic Messiah because of Nutrient Angel, but thinks you still run Harmonic Messiah because Harmonic Messiah gives you an extra heal guard when you go first, so it removes the downside of going. It slightly removes the downside of going first, and it self pings you if you didn't receive a damage last turn. So great. And as our it becomes a draw trigger when you damage check it, which is great. So technically speaking, I'm running 7 crits and 2 draws. Then generic heal guards. Then grade 2 is Azazel, which is the reason easier because he's a multi-attack engine. You could have used Harut as well, but like Harut doesn't have rescue, so it kinda, and plus Harut requires you to attack the Vanguard. This thing doesn't require your rescue to attack Vanguard. It just requires you to attack. So let's say you have 2 rescue cards. Rescue attacks rear guard. You don't activate Azazel's yet. The other rescue attacks. You activate Azazel's skills, counter blast 2. Superior color yourself, heal, then self ping. Booyah. Then you can attack the other rear, and if you have another Azazel, you can use her skill again. Because it's not limited to that your herself can't activate the skill itself, but herself can because she has rescue, which is amazing. Then our only other rescue grade 2, which is Black Rim Zabania. I tried looking for other rescue cards. This is the only thing I could find that was okay. There was like the unicorn resist, but that card doesn't have rescue. It just activates when something similar to rescue happens. Skill is on place, counter blast, soul blast 1 if you have a Gavrail, grade 3 or higher. Put a card from your hand to your damage zone and call card from your damage zone, and this unit gets plus 2k. And if you call the face down card, you put the card, you put face down, and you heal and deal 1 damage. So it's great. So if you call the face up card, it basically is just a soul blast cost because it will heal the face down card then deal yourself a face-up damage. These are the reasons why this card's a great card, Nutrient Angels, because it refills the soul. The only other way for us to refill our soul is by riding Prim again. Then we have KL, which our skill is GB1 when you rescue GB1 when it's put in the drop zone via rescue skill, which we do a lot. It calls itself. So let's say you rescue, you damage check a critical trigger. But because of its skill, it will call itself before the rescue trigger activates. So you can give the power to this card, which is amazing. Then Daniel, I have two. You can remove one Kale for her, or remove Ezekiel for her. But like, I mean Ezezel for her. But like Daniel only works during the acts when it's rescue, so it doesn't help with the Ezezel plays. But she's not GB locked. That's why we run her instead of the other one, which is GB locked. Then again, we don't have any place before GB1. Then the only four of in are grade ones, which is Doctoroid, Rem, Non, Rescue PG, which is skill is when you guard with this card and you have a copy, you heal your damage, heal yourself, then deal yourself damage to get more damage power. So it's pretty great. It will help boost up your Vanguard's power. But you have to pay a counterblast for that. Which kinda is like, other cards you don't pay for counterblast. But then again, rescue. Anyways, the counterblast is gonna go away because you're gonna heal a damage. So in the end, the amount of counterblast you're gonna have will be the same as if you didn't activate. But sadly, I think it's a mandatory because then 3 Stride Fathers because you still need to search for Gavrail Prim. That's why you need 3 Stride Fathers. You can replace Black Wisdom with the other Gavrail, but Prim is so much better than her. The only thing the original Gavrail has is two things. One, I have her rank reward art. Two, she's very useful early game during your opponent's turn because her skill is every time that you take damage, she gains plus 2k. So it slowly stops rush. It slowly stops people rushing you, but in the late game it's completely useless. Unless you combine it with the rescues. Unless you combine it with Remnon. Then we have the grade 1 clone of KL, which is Drill Motor Norse. So she calls herself. So either way, you have like 7 cards in the deck that will call when you do a rescue. So pretty good chances of having stuff on the board. Which is the most annoying aspect of rescue. Which is like, well, before I added those cards, I was like, I can only part my Vanguard. Can only part my Vanguard because like you're facing against control matchups. You have like no board. You have like no board, and majority of the time you don't call any back row. So all the power is just going to the Vanguard. Such a waste of power. Then we have Kind Care Sartile, which is our only way to prevent deck out or to slow down deck out, which is during the turn when a card is put in the damage zone, put this card at the bottom of the deck and 2 cards, which is a trigger unit and non-trigger unit. So you add 3 cards back to your deck. But remember, you have to pick precisely certain cards because you don't want it to counter Altil's skill. Then Sunny Smile Angel. There's another card, other Angel Feather players run, but I like Sunny Smile. And plus, Sunny Smile skill is on boost. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. You draw a card and this card goes back to your deck. And it becomes a heal trigger. So you run 5 heals compared to other decks, which Oracle Think Tank can do because they have also the same card called Lorenzi Magus. And I think they also have another one, but I don't know if it's still available because it was basically a Lorenzi Magus clone with a different card name. But I don't know if it's available here in Zero. Do we get an opponent? Do we get a VP farmer? What will we get? Nobatama. Most likely dominate because that's the only good Nobatama build. Like, people could try Sure Stealth, but Sure Stealth just loses too badly. Or is it VP farm? Because VP farmers are still a thing. VP farmers are still a thing. I will ride KL or Zezel. Those two are good right targets, but either way, still have to. Okay, it is dominate. We're actually facing a good opponent. Okay, who do we ride? This one because this guy, this girl, has a skill for later and pass turn. And I'm not playing the zero damage build because I don't have like the mindset to do zero damage, which is why I can't do like Genesis even though I have the cards for it because I can't do zero damage. Like I can never have the patience to do zero damage. Plus zero damage is like an OTK deck for OTK combo deck where you wait for stuff to happen. If you could try to compare it to Yu-Gi-Oh! Gize is a burn deck, but then again, it's not really burn because we deal you normal damage. It's just that you have a timer going on with you. Same thing with Omega Glendios, which is our Exodia. We have another Exodia, which is Deleters. I forgot the name, like Eborg, Egorg. But that's more like our Destiny board because Omega Glendios is easier to do than Egorg. I hope I said that correctly. Azazel, because these two will be perfect and swing. Damn, I should have called this grade 1. Because if it did that, boom, dealing 3 damage. I'll still be dealing 3 damage. But I would hope and pray for a trigger unit. Okay. And also, a lot of people think you should run Angel Gize. Sadly, unlike in the TCG, where it will be super overpowered, Angel Gize is a disappointment. Because rescue checks does not count to the Gize. The only upside because of that, you can gain power with your rescue checks. But thing is, rescue checks are eating away from your Gize strategy. Both sides are fighting against each other so they cannot coexist mutually. They cannot exist mutually. Which is so sad. I was so anticipating Angel Gize. In the end, nothing. Angel Feather's history, when it first came out, not that great. It has like, its only strategy was this double archer, which is skill is when it attack hits, put it into the damage zone, call another card, and it only works if it attacks the Vanguard. So you can't run crits in an Angel Feather deck, you have to run stance or draws. So it wasn't that great, but you have to use Shaman Shield because Shaman Shield's Limber Break skill is like, it gives plus 2k to the front row when you take damage, or plus 2k to yourself. I'm not sure anymore. It's been a while since I actually played that deck. But I think I made a deck profile for it. So there's that because yeah. Oh my gosh, my opponent is currently lagging or whatnot, but either way. Okay. Then when Metatron came, it was basically the same thing, except Metatron is your Vanguard. Doesn't really change enough. Sam Shield is still kind of better because when you take damage, she gains plus 2k, so it stops rush players from rushing you because it'll become impossible because the power will be too big. Then Break Ride came along. Then Zarakiel, riding Prim, calling discard because we have to. Dominate will kill my board, so might as well just play conservatively. Unless they stride Drain first. If they stride Drain first, it's gonna be a very sad day for me. And double no trigger. Ouch. Okay. So when the break rate came along, Gavrail was your main thing. But thing is, you still run the grade 3 that I talked about in the beginning. I don't remember its name, but its skill is counter blast 1 or 2. When this attack hits the Vanguard, put itself and call card. That's the only strategy there. Then it's like the reverse game for Remiel. Remiel reverse. I think that's a card. But it's a reverse version of the break ride. Or the crush ride version of the break ride of Angel Feather Celestials. Which gave us some way to do, but it required you to be, pure celestials or near pure celestials because it requires celestials to lock. And it also deals your opponent 1 damage. So it was okay. I played it in rank, never made deck profile of it. Once because I didn't get needed never made it to complete or I didn't feel like it was worth a deck profile. Which I should hit myself. I should hit myself back then. I should make as many deck profile videos as possible. Or I wasn't uploading deck profiles. But again, my first deck profile is like you're going over the end, so I was early enough. So I should start doing it. Oh well. You live and learn. Then Legion came along. Legion was very great because the grade 3 card I was talking about just suddenly had a grade 2 version, but it's Celestial based. So, which is even better because Celestial was like the best, was the definitive build for Angel Feathers for a long, long time until Prim came along. Until Gavrail Prim came along. Because Gavrail Prim is the reason why Angel Feathers is focused. Like technically, Altiel was the reason why we more became more leaning to Gavrail because Altiel really emphasized rescue. But sadly, wasn't able to do Celestial deck. Technically, I don't need to because I use that on Winterfest, and you can see my place there. Okay, bye bye. Bye bye, Zazel. Nothing. I heal, but it just gives power. Okay, I'm gonna push you to a PG check, which might bite me in the butt, but oh well. Heal is bad. Oh well. PG. Oh my gosh, it's not PG. I win game one. I win game one. My opponent didn't have a chance, but then again, they stride poorly. Like you should stride. You should even like there was a double R dominate card which I ran before was able to get the good GR dominate cards. You should have run that. You would have dealt me like 3 damage in a turn. Oh well. Oh well. Kind of disappointing, but in the end, we can't be choosers because when you recorded this, it is the last month, June 10, 12 a.m. That's when I started recording this. Technically, it's like June 9 when I started recording this. So yeah, it's time for game two. Do we get another opponent? This time a slightly better opponent? I shouldn't really be asking that, so I can become Legend 20 faster. Well. And by the way, I'm thinking of making a Silverthorn deck profile video. I'm just missing a couple of cards, so I'm deciding on what to do. Then again, I saw how Silverthorn does in clan battles, which will most likely come before this video on YouTube, but I don't think you'll be able to watch that on Rumble because I stream clan battles, so I just export my Twitch VODs to YouTube. I should also try do that on Rumble, but like I'm lazy. Okay, it's Pale Moon. I was talking about Pale Moon, and Pale Moon came. Do I have Psyqualia? If you don't know what Psyqualia is, it was a skill or special power in the original Vanguard anime where you can predict when triggers will arrive. Like, you know you will get a critical trigger check. Or a second check will be a critical. Like, that kind of power is super overpowered in Vanguard. But not as much in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, knowing what card you're gonna top deck will either make you disappointed or happy. Depending on the card you top deck. When Vanguard, it tells you how to play. Like if you're gonna drive check a critical trigger first, and your opponent did a 2 to pass, and you know your first two checks, and one of them triggers, you're gonna be willing to put all your trigger powers in a single Vanguard swing, which is very overpowered in Vanguard. And also there's like a fun thing like in a short form anime like for like Vangavan or something for Vanguard, where sequel can be used to get certain to know whether or not a card pack has rare cards. If that was in real life, card shop owners will be sad. Because like you know which card is a rare card, which would be amazing. I deal my opponent 3 damage and they're using Magia most likely. I don't know how to play Magia. I don't know how to play Magia even though I did. Did I touch the deck in real life? I think I played against a deck like that in real life, so yeah. Or I played it in uh, but still don't know much about Magia. They swing my Vanguard. They swing my Vanguard. Magia is the definition of a glass cannon because Magia is a skill when it's placed from the soul, it goes back to the soul. Meaning, if played wrongly, boom, they have no what do you call this? Intercept, which is a main mechanic in Vanguard Zero. Okay, I'm pushing to 5. This is the advantage of critical triggers over stand triggers. The early game pressure is real. I'm a crit fan. If you saw my Necro 5 videos, when G first started, you saw me playing crit triggers. If only my Blade Master deck was complete. Sadly, it wasn't. It only like one pair of Road Flare, one pair of Mustafa. Huh. Then I could have made a deck profile for Blade Master or something. I could try making a Blade Master deck profile, but like Titan is just a better build. I do have the deck, so might as well make it. I just have to craft like a third Titan or something. Unless I'm willing to go to the set and waste the 5,000 gems that I have, which I could be using to get the 6 Dragon Dust. Dust, very very good card. If you are able to spend money to get the Zero Dragon, do it just for the laughs of it. And plus, Zero Dragons is not just for one deck; it is for one nation. It's for one nation. Like Stoicheia and Lyrical Monasterio, they share a nation. They share clans. Kinda. They share clans. Because Lyrical Monasterio was mostly made of Bermuda Triangle. It's made of pure Bermuda Triangle, which Toikea has parts of the original nation where Bermuda Triangle came from. So there's chance you can use Zoa in Lyrical Monasterio decks. That's the downside of the how the new clans nation system works in the D series of Vanguards, because it's like Zoo and Manjelka became one nation, except Bermuda Triangle became its own nation. Mm. This is a very important card. Oh, it doesn't proc before. It procs after the damage check. Ouch. Sadly, I have no stands in this deck. And this is it. Because of that, I should have tried and use uh, Eden's skill, but problem is Eden requires you to have at least one face-up card in your G zone to be usable, which means you have to use this persona. PG, I have two intercepts, I have one PG, and I think I went first, right? So congratulations, you get an extra heal. Hmm. This is a very good card. This card is a very good card. It works better in Magia because its extra skill actually activates, but pretty good in Silver Thorns. That cut is such a powerful card. Even in the TCG, don't know if it's still good now because premium keeps evolving. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, there's a chance I can do some stuff. Okay. Timeout. There's another thing you need to think about. When you're playing a technical deck, you need to be careful of timeout. Because timeout is a thing which is very, very scary, and you don't want to be a victim of it. Because if you become a victim of timeout, it's GG's. I am 21,000, which only one card, only one lane now. PG, and that's it. And I'm ready to go. Do I have a heal? Okay. No, everybody is now. Heal is good. I am 4-4 equal. We're equalized now. Hmm. You can't do anything, man. My Vanguard's 31,000. Just pass turn and hope for the best. You have 4 cards in hand. And I can stride for free now. Don't, but sadly, it's only Altiel or Eden. Those are the only cards I can stride. Eden or Altiel. And I will go with Altiel. Yes, please. Getting the PG back. I heal is bad. Give the power here. Flipping harmonics because we won't need to use harmonics anymore. So critical trigger, more power. Heal. Oh my gosh, that hurts. That freaking hurts. Another heal. That freaking hurts. Ugh. So you have a chance to put back a heal. Hopefully, those weren't good targets. My opponent just conceded. Must be they don't have a PG. And by the looks, guys, I won those 2 games. Yeah, that's the real problem with Magia decks. They are glass cannons, so you need to be sure you can kill. He should have done a setup turn, then tried to kill me. Because he was trying to kill me in his first stride. Or their first stride. Or her first stride, so there's that. They didn't they didn't do- they didn't prepare their grade 2 game to push me to first to try to be able to kill me in first stride. That's their downfall. They should have tried push more in the grade 2 game. Since I'm first stride, they should have pushed more. Anyways, that's it for this video. By the time you're watching this on YouTube, it would be July 3. On Rumble, it will be like June 12 or something. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully, I have some Duel Links videos by the time this is up on YouTube on Rumble. Thank you guys, and bye bye.